Warning, we are not trained or licensed professionals. Do not take any advice that we give as official doctoral prescribed medical treatment. We only use the name as a means to appreciate cinema as a therapeutic device, not to be confused with drugs, antidepressants, or any other forms of enhancements that you might find in legal states. Please enjoy responsibly.
Additional disclaimer. If the film says we can say it too. So check the film rating, and that will be our episode rating. Welcome to Film Therapy.
This is the therapy of film.
I'm Madison.
I am Jake.
We are your therapists, and we're gonna dig deep today.
We're unlicensed therapists.
Definitely.
This week we watched a movie called Sideways from 2007, I think?
4.
2004, really?
Yes.
Okay, I was way off. Samsonite! I was way off.
And this was a recommendation you got from someone you knew, your uncle, I think?
Yes, shout out. Thank you for the recommendation.
I've been wanting to watch it for a long time, so we finally did. And I couldn't wait for it to be over.
I'm ready for you to tear into it.
Let's recap.
Oh yeah, we gotta recap. So we follow two men named Miles and Jack. Jack is going to get married, and they're going on a last week together, just having a trip, the two of them. And Miles has been depressed for about a year because of his divorce, and Jack is going to get married. So they're like, okay, we're just going to go off on a trip and drive around to California and taste some wine and maybe meet some people. And it just kind of follows their adventures throughout the week. And that's the basic gist.
Yeah, so Miles is like a whole wine connoisseur. Oh yeah, and a writer. He has a novel that he's been working on for a very long time. And he's trying to get published. He has an agent. But Jack keeps telling everyone that it's already published.
Yep.
Jack's kind of like an in-your-face type of guy, like always trying to get Miles to do everything. And Miles is laid back and kind of shy and reserved. And so Miles is Paul Giamatti and Jack is Thomas Hayden Church.
Mm-hmm.
What we learn a little bit into the movie is that Thomas Hayden Church, the one who's getting married, Jack, is looking to get laid before he gets married that weekend. Well, first he kind of projects onto Miles and is like, you're gonna get laid. I want you to get laid. And then he was like, actually, I just want to get laid. But he still was trying to be a wingman for Miles and help him and everything. And they went to this restaurant that Miles always goes to, and they met his friend Maya, who seems really into him. And so Jack is like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Maya's the girl. Let's go. And then they go to another winery, and Jack meets a girl named Stephanie, and they hit it off. And then Stephanie happens to know Maya, so they all hang out. Jack and Stephanie end up getting together, and then they hang out for the next few weeks, or the next few days.
A few weeks.
Just banging and riding on her motorcycle and going everywhere together. And Miles is kind of pissed because he wanted to have like a special guys week with Jack right before he got married, and he's supposed to be his best man and everything. And
Jack's
just like,
going,
well,
Miles wanted to have, a guys week, but Jack is instead and just going off with Stephanie and just spending all his time with her, and Miles is like, come on, bro, like, you're gonna get married. Why are you spending your time getting laid with somebody else? He never really directly says, he confronts Jack about it once or twice, but it's never directly said. He just kind of like underlines it and hints at it and says like, I don't think you should be doing this. And
then finally he's just like, what are you doing?
You can tell he disapproves.
Yeah. So Miles was married to a girl named Victoria, and they got divorced like a couple years ago, and he finds out that she's invited to Jack's wedding, and she's bringing her new husband. And so that sets Miles off on like a depressive alcoholic rage, and he is like running through a vineyard with a bottle of wine, and
that was great. When
Jack was chasing him.
when he's trying to get a drink from the bartender, and he's like, "Come on, give me a full glass, sir. This is a winery, not a bar."
Oh yeah.
And then he just takes the wine that other people like I don't know what it's called. Yeah, the wine that people spit out and dumped out of their glasses, and just pours it all himself.
Oh God,
it was great.
The face that I made during that part was the face that I had the entire movie. It was just like, I can't describe it. It's just like disgust, really.
Yeah, there's things in this movie that I did not need to see.
Yes.
Like the scene when Miles goes to get his wallet.
Yeah, so at one point, Jack's
wallet, I'm sorry.
Maya and Stephanie find out that Jack is getting married. They didn't know. And this is after Stephanie and Jack have been sleeping together, and after Miles and Maya had slept together. It took them a while to get there, but they had a really good connection, and they finally spent the night together. And then Miles told Maya the next day that Jack is actually getting married.
Just lets it slip that there's a rehearsal dinner. And they're having this really great time. They're just sitting in like a park having a picnic, and it's really great. And then Miles is like, oh yeah, we got to get back for the rehearsal dinner. And Maya's like, wait, who's getting married? And Miles is like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Just perfect like Paul Giamatti expression. Like that's his expression, is just like, oh shit.
And so then they find out, and so Stephanie and Jack break up, and then Jack, he just hasn't had enough of sleeping with other women. So they go to this restaurant, and he hooks up with the waitress from there. And he doesn't come home until like 6 a.m. He runs home naked, or runs back to the hotel naked. And then he's like, well, I don't have my wallet, and my wedding rings are in the wallet, so we have to go back. And Miles is like, oh no, dude, I'm done helping you. You're a scumbag. I'm fed up with you. And he's like, no, please, 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 please. So they end up going back, and Miles goes into
breaks
the bedroom,
into their house.
Breaks into their house, goes down the hall, hears some sex noises.
Oh god.
Of the waitress and her husband. That's why Jack ran home, was because her husband came home. And he sees the wallet and them having sex, and he runs in there and steals it. And then of course they see him, and the husband chases him out into the street, and he's completely naked. So we get some male full frontal nudity in that part. Jake is like, no thank you.
What was your opinion on that? Were you
fine
with it, or were you like, no?
I honestly,
Sorry, kind of a weird question.
I know, I don't want to like say I'm glad to see it, because I'm not, but also like there are so many movies where you see boobs and stuff, and I just think that
Friday the 13th, parts 1 to 12.
Yeah, there aren't as many movies where there's male nudity in like a normal-ish way. It's usually like comical, and this was pretty comical, but it wasn't like some like stupid dick joke or something. But I felt like it was like realistic and still funny, and I was like, okay, all right. I was okay with it.
Yeah, I was not expecting the amount of actual nudity that we got in this movie.
Yeah.
How do I word this? Because when this movie started and the plot was just the two of them drinking wine and, you know, having like a road trip kind of thing, I was thinking more like, okay, it's gonna have like that Lost in Translation type of vibe, which it kind of does, but like that sort of like level where it's like it's gonna be whatever happens on the trip is gonna be more like implied, and it's gonna be more focusing on the connection between the characters, which it does, but then it's also very explicit, which I don't really think was needed as much as we got, but it was also kind of funny at the same time. Although now I wonder if the husband ever found him and like they got the shit kicked out of him. Jack deserves it, but I hope Miles didn't get it.
Well, he does get beat up. Stephanie beats him up with her motorcycle helmet.
Oh yeah, she like beats the crap out of him. He ends up having to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, so then they end up like faking a car accident, and Jack drives Miles's car into a tree and then into a ditch. That was funny.
Yeah, that scene was great. I also love the little touch of how he pulls through for Miles in that moment, because like Miles got his wallet and Jack was like really kind of grateful for that in a way, obviously. So then before they crash, he's like, Miles, put your seatbelt on. And then later on, Miles was like, wait, why didn't I get messed up? And then Jack's like, because you were wearing your seatbelt. And I was like,
yeah.
Aw, that's a nice little moment. I wanted more of that.
Yeah.
I wanted more little moments like that.
Because their relationship just seemed pretty bad most of the time.
Yeah, which is, I guess, is kind of the point, but also, like, I wanted more of a balance.
Yeah.
Because it made it harder to root for them, especially for Jack, because he's just, like, a scumbag the whole movie.
Yes,
and then Miles just gets, like, life just kind of beats the crap out of him.
Yeah, so, yeah, he finds out that his book has been rejected by the publishing company, and, you know, his ex-wife's going to be at the wedding, and
she's pregnant.
Yeah, he's just like a sad sack.
But then at the end of the movie, instead of going to the... I loved that shot, by the way. All the cars in the procession for the wedding are turning right to go to the reception, and Miles goes left, and it's just so great. And then he goes
Oh,
back.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. And then he goes back home and he gets a voicemail from Maya, because he gave her his manuscript previously, and she read it and she said, "Hey, I don't know why they didn't publish this. This is great. I finally read it." And then he goes to her house and knocks on her door, and it's implied they reconnect, and that was great. I really liked that.
Yeah.
Maya is played by Virginia Madsen, who was also in Dune, one of the best narrations ever in that movie. She does a great job. And then she was also in something else, but I can't remember. I know she's in other things, but I've seen her in something else, and I couldn't remember what it was. But Stephanie is played by Sandra Oh, who is famous for being on Grey's Anatomy. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Emily would love that fact.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
I'm gonna look up Virginia Madsen, see what else I know her from.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
Sometime we'll watch Dune, because I feel like
Yeah.
we'll watch it like next October when the new new one comes out. Okay, I haven't seen it, but she's also in this movie called Joy with is it Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper. Oh shit, they're in a movie together. Okay, that's cool. I feel like I've heard of that. Have you seen that? Mm-hmm. Is it good? Yeah, okay, I won't watch it then.
I watched it on an airplane,
Okay.
and I think I kept falling asleep and stuff, and it wasn't that great, but yeah, I'm not going to rewatch it anytime soon.
All right. The only thing I really wrote down was there's a quote that stuck out to me that Jack says. It's not inspirational. It's not like it's a bygone Jim moment or anything like that, but it's a quote. It's just a quote that Jack said. So I believe this is after the first time they see Maya. After she's done working, Maya comes because she's a waitress at the place they're drinking at, and Maya comes and sits next to Miles and Jack. And then she says, "Hey, what are your plans for the night?" And Miles just says, "Oh, nothing. We're probably just going to go back to the motel and crash." And then so they say goodbye, and as they're leaving, Jack says to Miles, "That girl was looking to party, and you say we're going back to the motel and crash?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd be Miles, and that's what I would say, just because like you really need like Jack's confidence to say something different, but like also." In that kind of way, I like how they balance each other out, because Jack is like that dynamic, because Jack is more of the confident one and Miles is more of the reserved one, and you kind of, both of those like they're both like opposite ends of the extreme, and like somewhere in the middle is like the right amount of both in a way.
Yeah. I just didn't really like either of them. I don't know. I couldn't connect with either of them, and I just felt Miles was like so pessimistic, and Jack was just such a greaseball and slime ball.
Yeah, that's all I have for this movie, so just tear into it, do whatever you
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so
Ooh,
Maddie did not like this. Oh, what?
I did not like this. Yeah, so I forgot about this at the beginning. They're on their way to wine country, and they stop by Miles's mom's house.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they walk in. It's her birthday the next day, and they were only just gonna pop in and say hi for a little bit, but then they end up having dinner, and then it's dark, and then she's like, "Oh, you're staying over, right? We're supposed to go to blah 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 tomorrow with blah 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 for my birthday." And Miles is like, "Well, I think we need to get going to wine country," and she's like, "Oh, I just thought we could all be together for my birthday." And Jack's like an actor. He's been in like a soap opera and some commercials and stuff. So Miles's mom is obsessed with him. She thinks he's like so handsome, and so she sets up the beds for them, and they end up staying the night. But then they sneak out before she wakes up in the morning, and Miles like takes some of her money from her secret stash in her sock drawer. And I was just like about to cry, because that is so sad. Like, I just feel like he could have had some redeemable qualities if he hadn't had done that, Mm-hmm. What did you think of that scene?
I completely forgot about that scene until you described it to me. Because he says, like, "I'll be right back," and then he leaves the dinner table, and then it's just his mom and Jack talking, and then he goes and takes some of her money. And then, yeah, I didn't really know what to make of that, and it's like, it's never brought up again, and I just wondered, is that how they could afford, like, because we don't really know. I guess we know Miles is like a writer, but we don't really know like what they do for jobs or anything, as far as I remember. So
Yeah.
I guess that was how they funded their wine trip, but otherwise it was just like a character moment that didn't really have any impact on the story, other than Miles' arc. Like that's like the beginning of his arc. But as far as like a setup and a payoff, I really didn't notice any connection there. So I completely forgot about it until you mentioned it, and now I'm sitting here and being like, yeah, why did they do that other than to show like how Miles' character was?
Yeah, probably not. For any other reason besides that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole thing could have been cut out because I thought she was going to come back later.
Yeah, like she'd show up at the wedding or something.
Yeah. I don't know. It just made me very sad. So they go off to wine country, and Jack just wants to get drunk, but Miles is like so obnoxiously describing every wine and how to drink the wine and how to smell the wine and all the specifics about wine. And I don't really like wine, so maybe it's just me, but have you ever been wine drunk?
I don't think so. Wait, I don't think I have. I don't think so.
It sucks. Don't do it.
It sucks? Why does it suck?
It just makes you feel so much worse than getting drunk on anything else,
Okay, good to note.
in my opinion.
It's funny because my last night, I don't know what it was, but my mom had some kind of wine that was like cherry chocolate or something like that, and it sounded good.
God.
So I tried it, and then before I did everything Miles did, and I was like, I want my mom to like pick up on what I'm doing. Earlier this year, I worked at a place where like a big part of it was like you show the wine bottle to the customer, and like I learned how to pour wine and all that shit. So I was like holding the wine up to the light and swirling it around, and then like tipping the glass, and then I was like, "Thanks, Miles. Like if there's one takeaway from this movie, it's this is how you drink wine and look like a jackass."
Oh my
wine was good too.
God.
But I just had one drink of it. Yes, so I've never gotten wine drunk. As far as I know, have I gotten like tipsy off wine? Yes, but I've never gotten like full on wine drunk, like in the ways I've gotten drunk off of other things.
I think the hangover's worse, and being drunk on it is also worse. I don't know. It's just not for me. And so watching this movie, I felt like I was wine drunk because it was gross. A lot of the scenes, just made me feel icky and sick. I was just like, ugh. I didn't like the music or the cinematography. The music was weird. I didn't think it added anything. It was like, I don't know, it seemed like cheesy music. Then the cinematography was a little weird. Like the shots, there were a lot of like far away shots, I felt like. And that's kind of where I was like sitting, I was like, I don't know these characters and I don't really want to, so I guess I'm like far away, and maybe that's part of why they did it. But the one part I did appreciate was when Miles was talking about his favorite type of wine, Pinot, and he was like describing basically himself when he was going into depth on how the grapes are treated and how delicate they are and how they need to be nurtured, and they don't like they don't like to be in like a constant state. They like to differentiate or something like that.
Yeah, something akin to that.
So that was a good part. I appreciated that. But it seemed like there were weird pauses in between lines of dialogue or scenes, and like cross dissolves in between every scene, and I was like, this just doesn't feel right to me.
I do have a question for you. So the director of this movie is Alexander Payne, and he also directed The Descendants with George Clooney. King of shaking his head. Have you seen that movie? Because I've heard it was like, it got like nominated for Best Picture or something, and I've just heard good things about it. So I didn't know if you had seen like something else of his, and then that was like a movie you really liked, or.
Nope, I have not seen that.
Okay, I have not either. So I was just curious.
Let me see. Alexander Payne. What else has he done?
Let's
Nebraska, see. Election. I have seen Election.
Oh, do you like Election? I've heard of it.
Oh. Shit. He produced Downsizing, which is the worst movie on the face of the earth.
I remember hearing about that because I remember... Oh, wait, no, he directed Downsizing.
He did?
Yeah. Directed, produced, and I think it says he wrote it too.
Yep. Very bad movie.
I remember seeing the trailer and being like, that premise sounds intriguing. And then it came out, and then I heard it was like really, really bad. So I'm like, okay.
Yes, the premise, like when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, that looks really cool. Like I want to see that for sure. And then basically what you see in the trailer happens within the first 15 minutes, and then the rest is such a weird thing. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It goes so far downhill.
Okay, so he also wrote The Descendants, or co-wrote. He also co-wrote Jurassic Park 3, which is one of my least favorite movies ever made. I hate that movie, and I think Davis hates it too. I think Davis and I both feel very similar, very strongly about Jurassic Park 3. It's a terrible movie. Don't ever watch it. He's one of the writers of that, so I don't know how much involvement he had, if he just had a story credit or like he was on a different draft, because you never know really when there's like 3 or 4 writers on a movie, who wrote what part. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, not looking good, Alexander Payne. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I wanted to like this movie, but I just, from the beginning, I wasn't into it, and it didn't get better for me.
Well, that's a very good summary. I was expecting you to almost have this rageness to it, to just like you and
if we talked yesterday, I probably would have.
And while that would have been fun, I'm very glad that you were able to present yourself very well. So good job on that. I sound like I'm like a teacher or something, but
yeah, you do.
Good job. Grade A plus. That was fine.
Yeah, because yesterday after we finished,
it was so
I was
funny.
like, oh my god, thank goodness that's over. I hated that so much.
I think your exact words were, fuck, that was terrible. That sucked. I was like the meek juror from 12 Angry Men, where I'm like,
yeah, you're
I thought it was all right.
I kind of liked it.
I kind of liked it. I didn't love it. It wasn't. I think I was expecting a different movie. I was expecting more of like the other Fox Searchlight movies that we really like Little Miss Sunshine and Garden State and that kind of thing. But there's definitely things I liked about it. Then there's things where I was like, no, I don't like that. I think this is almost like the most Paul Giamatti that Paul Giamatti has ever been, and I really enjoyed that.
He seems very genuine.
It's almost like there was some kind of personal stake in this for him. Like when he was acting it, I don't know why he chose the role or anything, because I haven't done much research about this movie. But I really liked his performance. It felt educational at times with how to drink the wine, but now I'm glad because now I can sound pretentious when I'm drinking wine. I'll go to my extended family for Christmas, and I'll be like, okay, you want to tilt the wine up at the light, and I'll do all that, and my uncle's gonna be like, you watched Sideways, didn't you? And I'm like, yes, I did.
Nice. Yes.
Oh, have you ever seen Big Fat Liar with Paul Giamatti and Frankie Muniz?
Yeah, so long ago.
The greatest scene in that movie is when Paul Giamatti dances by the pool to Duran Duran and then turns blue.
Yeah. Could never forget him turning blue.
No, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I forgot about that movie. I was trying to think of all the Paul Giamatti movies I've seen.
Yeah, that's the one I remember him from, because I saw that all the time as a kid. Let's see, what else is he in?
Lady in the Water.
Oh, of course, Lady in the Water. That would have been an episode, but we watched it like just before we started recording. That was like a week or two ago. Okay, here we go. Truman Show, Saving Private Ryan, Donnie Brasco, Love and Mercy. Shout out to you, Tuan. Lady in the Water. Oh, Dr. Dolittle. He was in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Straight Outta Compton. 12 Years a Slave. I did not know he was in that. So yeah, Paul Giamatti.
Mr. Banks. Downton Abbey.
Did you say Saving Mr. Banks? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So Sideways. Nice knowing you.
Maddie didn't like you. I thought you was okay. We'll see you later. Probably never. I'm probably never gonna watch it again, and I know for sure you're not.
Nope. I feel like I went to work in a bad mood. I was like, I don't like this. I feel gross. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt that way too a little bit. Despite the ending being like I enjoyed the way the movie ended. I thought it ended on kind of a really good note.
Yeah.
The like that was me too for the next hour. Like I'm just like, why do I feel gross? I felt like I needed to like shower or take a walk or something. Like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely wish I had time to cleanse myself to watch something else before going to work. But, well, yeah, and I mean, the ending still, like, Jack still ends up getting married, and
his wife never finds out.
She doesn't find out then, but she'll probably find out later, and that's going to be a shit show.
Well, we don't have to see that.
Thank goodness.
Because there's no Sideways Part 2 as of yet. If they come out with that, then let's go see it in the theater. Just because.
Oh my god.
If theaters are still around.
Right.
Well, did you watch anything this week? Or since
I did.
You did. Okay, enlighten me. What did you watch?
So I've been talking about The Happiest Season, and I finally watched it.
Oh, yay. What did you think?
It was very cute. Mackenzie Davis and Kristen Stewart are really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was, it didn't seem like too cliche. I mean, Christmas movies, you know, you kind of have to be cliche at some points, but it seemed like they explored new territory, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I recommend it.
That's great.
And I also watched another Christmas movie. Well, after that, I started to watch this one with Lucy Hale on Hulu, and then I had to stop because it was too bad. I don't remember what it was called. And then I started to watch The Holiday on Netflix with Emma Roberts and some Australian guy.
Is it Australian Bill Pullman?
No.
Damn.
And that one was okay. Like, it started off like really cliche and everything, but I stuck it out. And it got better throughout the middle, and then the ending was really dumb and cliche too. But
So the beginning and ending sucked, but the middle was fine.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And then I think I rewatched Knocked Up because I'm like obsessed with it now.
You know what's funny is my mom was watching it on TV, and then it was like in the middle or close to the end, and I almost was like, I want to sit down and watch this with you. And then I was like, oh, it's like halfway through. So.
Oh, yeah.
But it was on TV.
I really love it.
And I don't know if she had seen it, and I was gonna say that to her. It was like, well, Maddie just watched that, but I don't know if I did or not. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you watched it again. Just in general, like when we find those kind of movies and we're like, I just want to watch this like over and over.
Yeah, it was good, especially because the first time I watched it, I split it into 2 nights, and so I wanted to watch it all together. But yeah, and I also watched About Last Night,
like from the 80s with Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe and Demi Moore.
Ooh, how was? I've never seen it. How was it?
It was all right. It was just like a lot of sex, and then also Jim Belushi is in it, and he's like really obnoxious, kind of like a Jack character.
I thought you just meant Jim Belushi in general.
Oh no, I mean I don't know if I've seen him in anything else, but wait, is he in Blues Brothers?
No, that's John Belushi. John Belushi is the one that died.
Okay, let me double check.
Jim Belushi is also in Little Shop of Horrors, if you've seen that. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't. I need to, though. I don't know why
let's watch that sometime. That movie's great. That's great. Okay. I wouldn't put it on the level of Rocky Horror, but, like, it's still... Although, no, I don't know, because Steve Martin's in it, and it's like one of my favorite Steve Martin roles. John Candy, Rick Moranis, great cast.
Oh, man.
Good movie. It's really fun. And then it's a talking plant, obviously. So
yeah,
we watched it in school actually.
You did?
Yeah, 2 of my teachers actually were really awesome because they showed us a bunch of 80s movies, and that was like what we did like on our off days. And then one of them was Little Shop of Horrors.
That's awesome.
Which is interesting, is it probably isn't the most school appropriate movie because it deals with like a lot of adult stuff, but it's it's great.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining. To it somehow.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, yeah, I need to see it for sure. So he was obnoxious, Jim Belushi. He said the word broad so many times. I was like, can you just shut up or use a different word, please? But like, oh my gosh, 80s Rob Lowe is so hot. Why did nobody tell me this?
I thought you knew.
I did not know. I was in the dark. And I turned it on, and I found the light that is 80s Rob Lowe. Whew.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and it was okay. Like, the story was fine. Then I watched Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, I really want to see that.
I was going in with low expectations because I heard it didn't do very well. Mm-hmm. And the way it was made was a little weird and off-putting and kind of not that great. I can't tell what it was that put me off about it. Maybe the cinematography or like the type of camera they used or something. But the acting was really good. And of course they have so much talent in that with Daisy Ridley and Johnny Depp, Judi Dench, and Olivia Colman.
Wow.
Willem Dafoe.
All right, you sold me. Daisy Ridley and Willem Dafoe in the same movie. I got to check that out.
Yeah, it was good. It was like a whodunit.
Yeah. I know it's had a lot of adaptations, and I don't know like how it ends, so I'd love to go into it like not knowing.
Yeah, the ending was good.
It's actually a friend of mine that's actually like one of their favorite movies, and I haven't seen it yet. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I gave it like a 3.5 stars on Letterboxd.
You finally joined it, and I'm happy.
I know, I'm glad I did. So yeah, that is what I watched. What did you watch?
I watched 2 movies for the first time and the other 3 that were rewatches. So the 2 movies I watched for the first time were Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis and The Thin Red Line, which is a Terrence Malick movie. Lincoln, I did not like at all.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think I'm a big Daniel Day-Lewis fan. Most of the movies I've seen him in, I just don't really care for. Controversial hot take. And then The Thin Red Line is incredibly well made. The directing, it has a lot of famous actors in it too, like George Clooney, John Cusack. All of the acting and like the directing and cinematography is great, but I just couldn't get into it. And I think that's because I'm just not a war movie kind of person. Like the only like straight up war movie that I really like is Saving Private Ryan, because that movie is just incredible. I like more of like the other side of the story, like how like Schindler's List is, and you know, even though it's horrifying, Grave of the Fireflies is like the most brutal fucking movie ever, but it's so good. And not saying this wasn't good, but it's just like it's a me thing. Like I wasn't able to connect with the story. It's, you know, like those movies where you see them when you see troops in war, and that's the majority of the movie. I just don't connect to those kind of movies, and maybe that's because I've never had the personal experience. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just not really my genre. Wars and westerns I don't really like very much.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
And I don't know if I said this last week, but I rewatched When Marnie Was There, like after because we recorded it, and then I watched it again later that week because I had a really up and down kind of week emotionally, and I'm like, fuck it, I want to watch Marnie again. And I think this time I've loved it more than any other time I've watched it, so I was like in the right mood to watch it. The ending, the final reveal at the ending, which we're not very big on, I realize they have more setups to it throughout, like they weave them into the dialogue and through the narrative, but fuck it, it's still a romance. I don't fucking care. and it's so freaking sweet and adorable, and it's such a good movie, and it's like one of the most beautifully animated movies I've ever seen in my life. I think when I get an apartment, I'm just gonna get a picture of like the house or even like the poster, because the poster's fucking beautiful, and just like hang it on my wall because it's so.
Yeah, you should.
I want like a big, like, if anybody's listening, I want like hey I want like a big ass like 24x36 Marnie poster to go on my wall in my room.
Tell Santa.
It'll replace my Star Wars posters, which I probably won't keep because of
Oh no.
Yeah. But anyway, and then it was on TV, so I watched part of Clue again.
Oh, nice.
Which you gotta love Clue. Tim Curry's my spirit animal, and Clue is just like, in my opinion, it's one of the most underrated comedies ever, because every time I watch it, or you know, most time when like now I've seen it enough times where that's not true, but for like the first like 4 or 5 times I watched it, I pick up on a different joke every time. And my mom and my sister were in the room with me, because we were just all sitting in the living room, and it just came on the TV. And then because my sister and I had watched it like years ago, so she's like, "Oh, this is Clue." And then my mom was like, "I don't think I've ever seen this." And I'm like, "Mom, you gotta watch Clue." so we watched like 20 minutes of it, and I was just sitting there laughing the whole time, and like then like the other two like weren't paying attention, and then I'm like maybe I'm the only one who's like liking this. But then like I think my favorite, like one of the best, it's not even like a shot, but just the way it looks, because obviously it's based on the board game. There's a scene when like Mrs. Peacock is like screaming about something, and then like she walks to the couch and sits down, and then later on Tim Curry's reenacting it, so he's like behind Mrs. Peacock, like pushing her like towards the couch, and it's like the same shot, but she's screaming again, but then he's like popping behind her in and out of frame, like weaving in and out, and going like whoa, whoa, and it's the funniest fucking thing ever. and the dialogue is just so witty, and there's so many like little jokes that like you don't even pick up on the first time.
It's so fast.
It's so fast, and I love it. I really, in some ways it's a little like too fast, but also like it just makes it better to rewatch. And I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but what other movie has like 3 endings in the movie, not like deleted scenes, but like in the movie?
I forgot about that.
And all of them are just so funny. There's so many good things. And then the last thing I watched, I mentioned this last week. I didn't know if I was going to mention it because I had watched about half of it, but I finished it. I watched the Nickelodeon movie Snow Day. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, so I thought I had seen it when I was young, but now I'm not sure if I've seen the whole thing. But now, of course, I have. It's it's very dumb fun, it very much is like we're a kids movie and like we're a dumb kids movie. But as far as dumb kids movies go, it was actually kind of enjoyable. Chevy Chase is in it in a like minor role. He plays like the dad of the main kids. And basically it's just the kids get a snow day and they want a second snow day, and then that's like the whole movie is them like trying to get, like make sure the roads aren't paved and that kind of thing to get a second snow day. And then like the older brother character, he's like trying to get with this girl because she's got a really piece of shit boyfriend who's just like an asshole. And then it's like him learning, like, oh, spoilers, I guess, if anyone gives a shit. then he's like, oh, my best friend was in love with me the whole time and she's better for me, so I'm gonna go with her instead.
Wow, crazy.
Wow, yeah. I did not know this. Really young Josh Nichols from Drake and Josh, is in this movie. And
really?
And then it turns out him and then the young sister, the main character, they were both in Max Keeble's Big Move, and I had no idea it was because I said to Tuan, hey, I watched Snow Day, and Tuan said, do you know that Josh and the sister are in Max Keeble? And I'm like, what the fuck? How did I not know Josh is in he's Robe in Max Keeble? And I'm like, I saw that movie like 10 times as a kid. How the fuck did I never know that?
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Snow Day was it was really, really effing dumb, but it was enjoyable. I'd rather, if somebody's listening to this, go out and watch Clue instead.
Yes.
Judy, I know you're listening because you're awesome. You're an avid fan, follower, listener. Judy, if you're listening, if you haven't seen Clue or When Marnie Was There, go watch those instead. Don't watch Snow Day.
Nickelodeon. Anything else?
After that derailment, no, that's it. What would you like the prescription to be next week?
Sleepwalkers.
You want to do Sleepwalkers?
I kind of do.
You want to? You want to do Sleepwalkers?
Do you want to do it?
I always want to do Sleepwalkers.
Okay.
So we're going to discuss one of the greatest films ever made, Sleepwalkers. That's your prescription.
I'm so excited.
I know. We got we should watch it again. Let's plan to watch it together because now we both know what's coming.
And I'm gonna buy it because
yes, buy it.
It's so great.
It's amazing, honestly. Like it's the greatest. It's like the greatest batshit insane movie ever. Because it's actually kind of good and then it goes insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like it starts off and you're like, this is weird, but at least it's like, and then it just goes insane and it's beautiful. And then it gets more insane as the movie progresses. There's nothing like it. It's a very unique movie.
Yes, and we love it.
All right, so see you next week, Clovis.
Yes, get the bad guy. Merry Christmas, Jake.
It's Christmas already.
Yeah, I know.
It does not feel like Christmas.
I know. No, it doesn't. I'm sure that's the same way for a lot of people this year.
All right, well, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Merry Christmas. We're just tagging this on at the end of our other episode.
Well, I thought you were going to try and make it seamless. I guess not.
Nope, whatever. I'm just going to go and say it. We just want to say Merry Christmas and give some Christmas cheer, talk about some Christmas movies. Wish you all a very merry holiday.
Yeah, whatever you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate any of the holidays around this time, just enjoy the time with people you care about. And
so we wanted to talk about some of our favorite Christmas movies, tell you about them. I'm sure you've heard of them all, but we'll just explain why we like them and then get into discussions, I'm sure, along the way.
Just because you said I'm sure you've heard of them, I want to pick really obscure ones that no one has ever seen. Quick question. Have you ever seen Jingle All the Way, or have you heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. I haven't seen the full thing, but I've seen clips, and it looks to be very interesting.
I know people that, that's their go-to Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But I never got into it.
Yeah, I never saw it either. I saw a bit of it on TV, I don't know, last month. I don't understand time anymore, but yeah. I saw like 5 minutes on TV and then I'm like, oh, I wondered about this. But yeah, when someone makes a promise, they definitely should keep it.
What's that from?
That's from the movie.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So, we're not necessarily going to go in order of top Christmas movies, but we just have some favorites that we're going to share.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
The first one I want to mention is, I guess that's not really a modern classic anymore because it's like almost 20 years old now. Jesus. It's over 15 years old, but Elf from 2003, starring Will Ferrell, has always been one that my family has watched every year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a movie. Just well, first of all, Will Ferrell, the casting is perfect as Will Ferrell as Buddy, but
I love it.
His energy in that movie and just the vibe of the movie itself is just so. What can I think of?
So you.
It's so me. No, I was gonna say it's so infectiously optimistic and just like heartwarming.
Yeah,
it's great
without being like heartwarming.
Yeah, it's not. It avoids being cheesy because it's a family movie and it knows the right blend of, you know, where to be emotional and where to be funny.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's one of my favorites too.
If you don't know the story, it's Will Ferrell plays this kid named Buddy who has a baby, crawls into Santa's bag, and ends up at the North Pole being raised as an elf. And then when he grows up to be an adult, he goes to New York City to meet his dad, who's not a very Christmassy, jolly person in the slightest. And it's just a contrasting of their personalities, and it's just how he makes everyone's life around him better, which is a good thing, you know.
Aww. Yeah, that's one of those examples of the protagonist doesn't necessarily arc, but he changes everyone's arc around them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
I know some people don't like Will Ferrell, and some people. I heard someone the other day say they hate Elf, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
I was just happy to hear that you liked it because for a second I was like, "Oh God, is Maddie gonna be like, I don't like it?"
No, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. It's great. I watch. I don't know if I've seen the movie in full every year, but whenever it's on TV, I just turn it on. It's one of those movies that I just feel like I have to turn it on when it's on TV because it's just, you can, because I've seen it enough times where this is true for probably all my favorite Christmas movies, but when you've seen it so many times, you can just turn on the TV and just watch it at any given moment, wherever the movie's at, like whether it's the beginning or the ending or, you know.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Titanic.
Yeah. Which is also a Christmas movie because
that water be cold.
Yeah. There's icebergs.
So Elf was in my top list here, but another one that my family always liked to watch was the Santa Claus and the Santa Claus 2 and the Santa Claus 3. Mm-hmm. My dad really likes those movies, and it's always fun to watch with everyone together. In the first one came out, the Santa Claus came out in 1994, starring Tim Allen. Where's Tim Allen now? Where he be?
I don't know, but they got somebody else to take his place now.
Yeah, he's not the Santa Claus anymore, probably.
Oh no, I meant for Buzz Lightyear. They're doing a prequel Buzz Lightyear movie.
Wait, stop.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's true.
No, and it's not Tim Allen?
Yeah, and it's not Tim Allen. It's
I hate Hollywood.
I do too. It's Chris Evans. I knew it was one of the Chris's.
Chris Evans?
Yeah. I mean, I love you, Chris Evans, but come on.
I mean, he's got a pretty good Buzz voice, I bet.
Yeah.
But yes, so the Santa Claus, well, that sucks. It's about this man, Tim Allen, who
kills Santa.
Accidentally kills Santa Claus. He knocks him off his roof, and he kind of disappears, and he leaves his suit behind. And so Tim Allen has to put on the suit, and he becomes Santa Claus.
This is when Disney movies took risks. Let's kill Santa.
Yeah, they killed Santa. And then it's like about his children then like finding out about it and believing and then not believing and then believing. Mm-hmm. He runs the North Pole with all the elves and everything and eventually finds a Mrs. Claus. That one's a really sweet one. Yeah, it's good. It's because it starts with him, of course, not being the most Christmassy caring person or the most kind person, and it changes him.
I have a confession. I have only seen the third one.
Oh, damn.
I have not seen the first two. And it's really, and I have a kind of a story about it too. When it came out, one of my friends was like, "Hey, let's go see Santa Claus 3." I'm like, "I haven't seen the first two. Am I going to need to see the third one?" And then my friend was like, "Nah, you'll be fine. The third movie has time travel and goes back to the first movie." And I was so confused.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh God, what's happening?
Yes.
Why did Santa fall off the roof?
Oh my gosh.
And it's like that. And I was so lost. And then
Funny.
I know I've seen the third one multiple times because then we watched it in school, and then I was like, oh no, it's that confusing movie. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch Elf.
I think I've maybe seen the third one only a couple times, and the second one I've probably seen the most.
I know I've seen like clips of the second one, and I saw the trailer on like some VHS 1,000 fucking times, but I've never seen the full movie. I've wanted to, and I know I have Plus. I can easily go watch it, but
oh yeah,
I haven't yet. So we'll have to wait and do a film therapy episode on that trilogy.
Okay. So what's another one for you?
Another one I really love is, especially now that I'm older, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
It's my favorite of the vacation movies, easily, and it's one of my favorite Christmas movies, and kind of one of my favorite movies, I would say, in general. It's one of those movies where you view it one way as a kid, and then you view it another way as an adult. Like, you know, I'm not married yet, I don't have kids yet, you know, I'm not at that stage in my life where I'm like the one planning the Christmas. You gain new perspective on the on the movie. It's just really funny.
I don't know if I've seen that all the way through.
Okay. Well, there's a first time for everything. What's
the plot?
So Chevy Chase and his family, they're spending Christmas at home, and Chevy Chase wants to have a good fun old fashioned family Christmas, and so he invites all the relatives over, and just a bunch of stuff happens.
Oh, and then he tries to plug in all the lights.
Yep.
Then like everyone's power goes out.
Yeah, and then just like random stuff happens in the movie. Like obviously it's funny, and it's more of like a cynical like movie, but it also has like the heartwarming side to it too. And it's funny because I think I saw it when I was younger, but I didn't really see it until I was probably, I don't know, like 12 or something. So I have grown up with it, but not in the way I have with like Elf or anything like that.
Okay, yeah. The one that came out last year called Last Christmas with Emilia Clarke and Henry Golding.
See,
Did you see that?
No, but I wanted to see it.
It's very good. I liked it a lot. Like the ending has such a crazy twist, and I was not expecting it at all, and like I hadn't had it spoiled or.
I don't know if the twist was spoiled for me or if it was a different movie. But I feel like it might have, and that's why I didn't end up and see it.
That's fair.
But I remember my mom had seen it and said it was really good. So
yeah, I really liked it. I want to watch it again this year. Maybe I'll go to Redbox.
No.
And Emma Thompson's in it. Yeah, so it's about Emilia Clarke. She works at a Christmas store, and she's like not very well off in her life. She's just kind of like messing around, doesn't really know what she wants to do, and makes bad decisions. And then she meets this guy Tom, and he's all like Christmas cheer and all this stuff. And I mean, it sounds cliche, right?
It sounds great. But what are you talking about? It sounds amazing.
Oh yeah. So then Tom kind of inspires her to do good for other people, and then of course she realizes the true meaning of Christmas.
Sounds great.
It is great. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a different type of movie, even though what I just explained sounds like every other Christmas movie. What's one more for you?
The next one I want to mention is it's not a movie. There are three, actually no, I'm sorry. There's kind of three SpongeBob Christmas episodes, but the one I remember is the original one from season 2. And it's called Christmas Who. That rhymes. and it's about SpongeBob bringing Christmas to Bikini Bottom, and it's about Squidward discovering the true meaning of Christmas. And it's really funny, and it's really heartfelt, and it's probably like one of the best episodes of the series. Side note to that, there's also the episode A Snowball Effect, where SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward get into a snowball fight, and it's great shenanigans.
I don't think I've seen either of those.
All right, we're gonna stop recording right now so I can go show those to Maddie, and then we'll come back. I'm surprised. I feel like those are, but I guess they would only play those around like the winter time, you know? So
really?
Because they're seasonal. Because one's like winter and one's like Christmas, so they probably wouldn't play it year round. So maybe that's why you didn't
really
see it. That's my guess. Yeah. Like the Christmas episode, they only play around Christmas.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah, so that's that. And then there's in continuation of animated specials, there are 4 Charlie Brown Christmas specials, and I have seen all of them, and they are all great.
Oh, wow. I have not seen any.
You've not seen any of them?
I know, that's
I'm surprised.
a sin.
Have you seen like Thanksgiving or The Great Pumpkin or anything like that?
Not that I remember.
Have you ever seen anything Charlie Brown related?
Not a lot.
Now, take what I say with a grain of salt because it's just me, my opinion. But screw what I just said about going to watch the SpongeBob Christmas special. You gotta go watch the Charlie Brown. You gotta watch fucking, as much as you love Halloween, you gotta watch Great Pumpkin, Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
Christmas. At least like the original 3. Charlie Brown specials in general are always great, but I really like the Christmas ones. Yeah, and there's 4 of them.
Okay. Wow. I listened to the Charlie Brown music and like the Christmas album for the jazz trio.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Well, that's pretty much all I had on those. But yeah, the animated SpongeBob the Christmas Who episode is just, it's so. I just remember watching it as a kid. And I watched it again because they had it on TV. They had like a marathon of all the Christmas or winter themed episodes that they had, yeah, it's really great. It's probably, it is probably one of the best episodes just because it's so like funny and and it actually has like a heartfelt like ending to it. Also, Drunk Santa is in it. A live action
What?
Drunk Santa. I'm not kidding.
What?
Yes, that's the best way to conclude anything ever. Anything Christmas related, movie, TV special, whatever, is just Drunk Santa in his sleigh saying Merry Christmas.
Wow. Nice. I'm down.
Down for what?
Drunk Santa.
Well, just watch it. It's like what, like 23 freaking minutes? Like just go watch it. It's probably on Amazon or something. Like, I think the show
Okay.
might be on. I think it is on Prime still. So seasons
For free?
Seasons 1 to 5 are free on Prime, and that's all you need to ever watch. Is season.
Oh my
the first
gosh.
seasons. Yeah, so if you want to watch any SpongeBob episodes at any time, you know where to find me.
That's crazy.
There you go.
SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants.
You want to know something?
What?
I've never been a fan of the SpongeBob theme song as much as I love the show.
Really?
Really. I've
You
like,
think it's kind of annoying?
like even as a kid, yeah, I just thought it was kind of annoying. It wasn't. I mean, it was catchy, but it wasn't like catchy in the way you'd want to like sing it all the time. I've never once really cared for it. So I know that's like blasphemy.
Crazy. I guess I will say my last one, which is probably on your list as well. The Holiday.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It stars Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, and Jack Black. It is Jack Black's cutest role. He is just so adorable. He's so cute. Like, I wish he was in more stuff like that. But I mean, I love his comedy stuff too. It's about the 2 women, Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet, switch houses for Christmas because they're both going through life changes, and they're like, why the hell not? Let's do it. So Cameron Diaz goes from LA to Surrey in the UK, and then Kate Winslet goes from the UK to LA, and there they both meet significant others, Jude Law and Jack Black, and they experience different parts of the world, and they struggle with like not wanting to go back and realizing where their truth lies within themselves and what they really want to do. So I love that we have like two different stories going on.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I haven't seen the full thing in a while. That's another one when it's on TV. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch this.
Yeah, it was on the other day. I started watching it. Yeah, I think all the characters are really interesting too. Just like their backstories and everything. It seems like so dreamy, you know? And then Kate Winslet's place in the UK is so cute. It has like a little fence. It looks like it's like a little cottage, and she walks through the snow to get there.
Mm-hmm,
It's beautiful. And it's just inspired me to like live there or live somewhere like that, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, I want to live somewhere like that too.
Good picture now.
There's a scene with I don't know if it's a Blockbuster, but it's basically it's some video rental store.
Oh yeah,
There's a scene with Kate Winslet and Jack Black talking about movies in a Blockbuster, and it's the most adorable thing ever. It's amazing. It's my favorite scene in that movie.
Yeah, that's when Jack Black is at his peak cuteness.
He's what is he doing? He's like humming movie themes and
he's like
yeah
and
like he'll pick up a DVD
skiddly-boop.
and like start doing that, and it's so funny. It's so pure. I love it.
Yes. So you have more?
Yes, I do. My favorite Christmas movie or Christmas movies of all time is Home Alone and Home Alone 2, which both are very good. If you don't know the plot, I feel like everyone who's listening would know the plot. But if you don't, if for the people who actually have not seen Home Alone, first of all, you should, and then go watch Home Alone 2. But the plot is there's this kid named Kevin, and his whole family, his uncles, his cousins, they're all over at his house for Christmas because they're going on a trip to Paris, and they have this super swanky, huge mansion. They have this big mansion in Chicago, and he gets in trouble the night before, and he gets sent up to the attic. And so then the whole family, the power goes out overnight because there's a storm. They have to rush to their flight, and then they forget him. So he's left home alone for probably a few days, I think. And then it ends up that there's these two burglars named Harry and Marv that want to rob his house, and he has to set up a bunch of traps to keep them out. And at the same time, his mom is desperately trying to get back to him because, And yeah, it's just such a heartwarming movie, and I kind of know it probably word for word. But it's just a movie that it's when I think of Christmas, I think of that movie. Like, that's the first thing that comes to my head. And I think the first movie is better, but I think the second movie in some ways is funnier because they expand on jokes that were in the first movie, and they use your knowledge and expectation to make the punchlines even better. And also Home Alone 2 has Tim Curry. It's the first movie I ever saw him in, and he's so flipping hysterical in this movie. And it's Tim Curry in a Christmas movie. There's nothing better in the world. I'm not even kidding. That's like the greatest thing.
That's your spirit animal.
Yes, Tim
Curry in a
and
Christmas
then Dale
movie.
Cooper are my spirit animals.
Yes. Those aren't ones I watch every year. I've only seen them a handful of times, I think. But this year I want to watch them.
Have you? So you've seen both of them?
I think so.
Have you seen any of the unrelated sequels?
No.
Good. I do want to talk briefly about that if we have time.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm young enough that when I was a kid on ABC Family, because that's what it was called, and that's still what I call it. I don't give a shit. When I first saw them, they had Home Alone 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I think I saw the second one on HBO because I remember I saw the second one last. So I saw it like 1, 3, 4, 2, something like that. So I have nostalgia for the first, and yes, there's more than for the first 4 Home Alone movies. But I'm not saying that I like all of them. Like I have nostalgic feelings for 3 and 4, although 4 is one of the worst movies ever made. It don't ever watch it. It's complete garbage. It sucks.
Man.
3 I think is kind of underrated. If you look at it as its own thing, I don't think it's that bad. It's like, like 3.5 out of 5 maybe. The fourth movie is just they tried to make it a direct sequel, but they cast a kid that wasn't blonde, which is the least of the problems of the movie. The continuity doesn't fit. The acting is horrible. It was made for TV, so like the editing is honestly like movie maker level with the transitions. It's really bad.
Wow.
It's an abomination on every level, and no human being should ever have to watch it. But I've seen it multiple times because I saw it when I was a really little kid, and I'm like, oh, it's Home Alone, it's fun. And then I went back to it years later, and I'm like, oh my god, what was this?
Kind of like Halloween Town 4.
Oh yeah, but this is worse than Halloween Town 4, I would say.
Oh man.
Which, you know how much I raged watched that movie.
Yes, that was a rage watch.
But Home Alone 4 is worse because Home Alone means more to me than Halloween Town. And then they made a 5th movie.
Oh,
Home Alone. And like Home Alone 3, it's unrelated. I've seen it once, and I watched it because my sister and I marathoned all the movies because we're like, hey, it's Christmas time. We haven't seen each other in a while. Let's just watch all the Home Alones just for no reason whatsoever. It's not as bad as the 4th one. It's not a horrible movie that makes me, like, want to give up on cinema altogether, but
okay.
It's like a movie I saw once, I was like, meh, and I never watched it again, and I'll probably never watch it again. But just watch Home Alone 1 and 2 because that's all you need. which is what everybody says, but it's
Okay.
absolutely true.
I will.
I completely just went on a tangent of Home Alone-ness. God, that fourth movie is so bad. I hate it. Although I don't hate it, but I do. It's so fucking atrocious.
Such a conflict.
Ugh.
Did you want to get into Christmas movies that aren't necessarily Christmas movies?
A lot of great movies are actually Christmas movies, and nobody talks about them. Like Trading Places and Eyes Wide Shut and L.A. Confidential and Batman Returns, which is just underrated also. Yeah, Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. But, just movies like that where it's like, they're great movies, but people don't consider them Christmas movies enough. There's another one that has a lot of debate on whether or not it's a Christmas movie, but that's been done to death, so we don't need to bring it up. But that one's good too. Watch that one. That's a good one. And
Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, Harry Potter, especially like the first 2 or 3.
The first one, yeah.
The first one for sure. And that's also a movie that I have so much nostalgia for. It's just it really is. Like, Christmas movies are comfort movies, but the first Harry Potter is also, because it's a movie you can throw on like literally in any of the best months of the year, October through December, because it's a Halloween movie, it's a Christmas movie, like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
And it's just one of those movies where like I can turn it on and like go do something else and just, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do when we're done recording. I'm gonna go like watch Harry Potter and bake like some cookies or something, because that sounds
lovely.
Sounds lovely. Oh, I love Harry Potter so much. My love for Harry Potter has never wavered. It will never waver, despite J.K. Rowling being, not the greatest person. And despite this being milked, I got the original books, got the original movies. That's all you need. That's all you need. Have you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes.
Okay. Because that always airs on Christmas Eve. So for me, that's like people have like their advent calendars and, stuff like that. We never really did that, our family, but like It's a Wonderful Life being on Christmas Eve on like NBC or whatever is like, that's like the last like thing to do before Christmas morning, and you get your gifts and all that. So that's part of a tradition I really like. I just want to watch It's a Wonderful Life again. Also, I haven't seen the full thing in a very long time, because I just always watch like the last like half hour or something. The real last thing I wanted to mention was for all you anime fans out there is a Sailor Moon Christmas movie, and it's very enjoyable. Santa Claus is in it, and it's for like 30 seconds, and it's great. I'll try to find the clip because it's great.
That's awesome.
Sailor Moon just looks up at the sky and is like, wait, is that Santa Claus? And I'm like, and me watching the movie with my friends in the theater was like, wait, is that Santa Claus? So, also, you want a good Santa Claus, watch Nightmare Before Christmas. Because you got Jack Skellington as Santa.
Oh, yeah.
Or Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Yes.
Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh boy, that should be our Christmas episode.
What is it?
Oh, that requires some explanation. I'll get into that some other day.
Okay.
Yeah, do we have anything else Christmas related to talk about?
I don't know. Just wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, happy time,
Yeah.
Just try to enjoy some time for yourself.
Yeah.
Just do something you want to do. Watch a Christmas movie, of course. And yeah, if you can't be with your family this year,
Or if you don't want to be, understandable.
or if you don't want to be, yeah.
Watch Home Alone.
Then,
It'll be very cathartic for you.
There you go.
When I grow up and get married, I'm living alone.
But we just wanted to put this on this episode coming out on Christmas Eve, just to be a little festive and have something for you to listen to if you're traveling or whatnot. So.
Well, we wanted to talk about movies we actually enjoy, so that's why we did this little section of Christmas movies. I think you'll agree with that for sure.
Yes.
And we're ending on that. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Merry Christmas. See you next week.
Yeah, too bad AC ain't in charge no more. He's upstairs taking a bath. He'll call you when he gets out. Hey, I tell you what I'm gonna give you, Snakes. Snakes. I know I heard that name Snakes before. Snakes. I don't know no snakes. He sounded like Snake. You smell that? Yeah. You know what that is? Fish. It's freedom. No, it's fish. It's freedom. And it's money. Okay, it's money. That's very smart, Marv. You bust out of jail to rob 14 cents from a Santa Claus. Every little bit helps. You know, you're one of the great cat burglars of the world, Marv. Hey, nice house, but there's no bathroom in it.